Jai Shri Ram. Now, Canto 11. The episode of sage Mandakarni and Panchaspara lake, Ram visits several hermitages and returns to Sutikshna's hermitage. From there, he goes to the hermitage of Agastya. Ram walked in the van, the most beautiful Sita in the middle, and in the rear followed Lakshman, bow in hand. They two, together with Sita, went on seeing several mountain peaks and forests and several charming rivers. They further saw cranes and kakravaka birds moving on river banks, lakes with lotuses and aquatic birds, spotted deer moving in herds, horned buffaloes in rut, boars and elephants, and the destroyers of trees. Covering a long distance, they sighted together while the sun was going down a beautiful lake with an area of a square yojna full of red and white lotuses adorned with herds of elephants and crowded with cranes, flocks of swans and other aquatic creatures. In that beautiful lake of clear water, the sound of singing and musical instruments were heard, but nobody was to be seen. Then, out of curiosity, Sri Ram and Lakshman, the great car warrior, proceeded to ask the sage named Dharmabhrata, who accompanied them, "O great sage, hearing this most wonderful sound, we are all seized with great curiosity. What is this? Pray tell us in detail about it." Thus addressed by Raghav, the righteous sage forthwith started speaking about the greatness of the lake. This is a lake named Kapsara, even full of water and created by sage Mandakarni by dint of his ascetic power. O Ram, the great sage Mandakarni performed severe austerities in the lake, living on air alone for 10,000 years. Thereupon, getting disquieted, all the gods, with the god of fire at the head, gathered together, and all of them spoke as follows: "This sage is seeking the state of someone among us." Thus, all the denizens of heaven felt disturbed in mind. Then, for causing interruption in his austerities, all the gods appointed 5 principal nymphs with bodies flashing like lightning. Now, that sage who had seen what is wholesome or otherwise in this world as well as in other was captured with love by those nymphs for accomplishing the work of gods. The same 5 nymphs have become the wives of the sage, and the lake has been built a secret house for them. Dwelling happily in that very house, the 5 nymphs delight the sage who has regained his youth by virtue of his austerities. This is the sound of the musical instruments and the charming song of the nymphs, sung while they are playing, mixed with the tinkling of ornaments, that is the sound being heard. Raghav, of great renown, together with his brother, accepted the report of the pure-minded sage as a piece of wonder. While speaking thus, he saw a group of hermitages enveloped in Brahmic grandeur with kusha grass and bark garments spread around about. Raghav, together with Vaidehi and Lakshman, then entered that beautiful group of hermitages, and staying there happily, being honored by great sages, that descendant of Kakushta visited one by one the hermitages of those sages with whom that knower of great weapons had previously stayed. Raghava happily stayed somewhere for 10 months, somewhere for a year, somewhere for 4 months, somewhere 5, 6, and even more, elsewhere for more months, somewhere half a month more, and in other hermitage for 8 and 3 months. While he was thus staying in the hermitages of the sages and passing time happily and comfortably, 10 years passed. Having thus wandered, Raghav, the knower of Dharma, together with Sita came again, they say, to the site of Sutikshna's hermitage. Coming to that hermitage and honored by the sages, the said Ram, the vanquisher of foes, stayed there also for some time. Then, while sitting in the hermitage modestly beside the great sage, the said Kakushta on one occasion spoke as follows to Sutikshna: "Sir, I have heard from those talking among themselves that Agastya, the foremost of sages, permanently dwells in this forest. However, due to the vastness of this forest, I do not know that place. Where is the lovely site of the hermitage of that wise and eminent sage? There exists a great desire in my heart that I should get an opportunity to pay my obeisance to sage Agastya along with my younger brother and Sita for obtaining his grace, so that I may personally do some service also to that great sage. Pleased to hear this submission of the righteous Ram, the aforesaid sage Sutikshna replied as follows to the son of Dashrath. I too wanted to tell you as well as Lakshman the same thing, viz. That you should go to Agastya with Sita. O Raghav, it is good that you are speaking to me about it yourself. I am just telling you, O Ram, where the great sage Agastya lives. Proceed, O dear son, southward to a distance of 4 yojanas from this hermitage. There lies in a well-nigh flat portion of the forest the great and grand hermitage of Agastya's brother, adorned with a grove of pipali, long pepper trees, nay, having many flowers and fruits, and charming and resonant with the chirping of various birds. There are several lotus ponds and lakes with limpid water, crowded with swans and karandavas, and adorned with charkava birds. Staying there for a night, Ram, you may proceed in the morning on a southerly direction along with the side of the grove. Covering a distance of 8 miles, you will reach the site of Agastya's hermitage in a delightful part of the forest adorned with many trees. There, Vaidehi and Lakshman will dwell happily with you, for that is a charming part of the forest with many trees. If you have made up your mind to see that great sage Agastya, O highly intelligent prince, decide to proceed this very day. Hearing thus the sage's word and saluting him with his brother, Ram set out with Lakshman and Sita to meet Agastya. Seeing the varied forest and cloud-like mountains, lakes and rivers on the way, he proceeded happily along the path directed by Sutikshna, and being supremely delighted, he spoke as follows to Lakshman. Indeed, this very place appears to be the site of the hermitage of that highly souled brother of sage Agastya of holy deeds. As was pointed out by Sutikshna, these thousands of trees of this forest are seen in the way bent down with their loads of fruits and mass of flowers. This scent of the ripe pipali fruits wafted by the breeze and coming from this forest is suddenly giving rise to a pungent taste. Here and there are seen collected heaps of woods and blades of darba grass having the lustre of Vaidurya, a cat's eye gem, are seen cut. And here in the middle of the forest is vividly seen a column of smoke from the fire in the hermitage, looking like the top of a dark cloud. Having had their bath in the holy waters, the Brahmins are giving offerings to the gods with the flowers collected by themselves. Hence, O gentle Lakshman, according to the description of Sutikshna heard by me, surely this must be the hermitage of the brother of Agastya, by whose brother Agastya of holy deeds, with intent to do good of the people and controlling by his spiritual might death in the form of ogres Vatapi and Ilvala, this southern quarter has been made habitable. Once, they say, there here dwelt together 2 brothers, great ogres and killers of Brahmins, Vatapi and Ilvala. Assuming the form of a Brahman and speaking Sanskrit, that merciless Ilvala used to invite Brahmins for the sake of Shraddha. Thereupon, cooking that brother of his who used to take the form of a ram, he used to feed those Brahmins according to the injunctions laid down for Shraddha. Then, after those Brahmins had finished the dinner, Ilvala used to call out in a loud voice, "O Vatapi, come out." Now, hearing the voice of his brother, Vatapi used to come out, tearing the bodies of the Brahmins and bleating like a lamb. Thus, thousands of Brahmins were killed by those flesh eaters, always coming together and assuming forms at will. That time, they say, that great ogre was eaten up with taste by the great sage Agastya as requested by gods. Thereupon, saying, "It is finished," and offering water for washing the hands, Ilvala cried out to his brother, "Come out." Then, while he was addressing these words to his brother, the killer of Brahmins that dwell among sages, the intelligent Agastya said laughingly, "Where is the power to come out? left in that ogre of your brother in the form of a ram, who stands digested by me and is gone to the abode of Yam? Thereupon, hearing his words declaring the death of his brother, the night wanderer started assailing the sage in anger. He attacked Indra amongst the Brahmins, and being burnt with his fire like a glance at that sage of blazing lustre, he died. This is the hermitage beautified by lakes and forests of the brother of that sage who did this difficult deed out of pity for the Brahmins. While the celebrated Ram was thus talking to the son of Sumitra, the sun set and the time of evening devotions arrived. Having performed his evening devotions according to the scriptural ordinance, together with his younger brother, he entered the site of the hermitage and greeted that sage. Warmly received by the said sage, Raghav stayed there that one night, taking roots and fruit alone. When the night had passed, Raghav at sunrise took leave of that brother of Agastya with the following words: I pay obeisance to you, sir. I have stayed happily for the night. I take leave of you. I am going to see your revered elder brother. Spoken to by him in the words, you may go, the delight of Raghu left along the path pointed out to him, seeing that forest. Ram saw 300 of forest trees, Nivara, Panasa, Sal and Vanjula, Tinisa, Chiribillav and Madhuka, Bilva and Tinduka too, in flower and beautified by blossoming climbers, damaged by the trunks of elephants, adorned by monkeys, and made resonant by the noise of flocks of birds in heat. Then the lotus-eyed Ram said to heroic Lakshman, who was closely following behind him, and added to his glory, as the trees are clothed with glossy leaves and animals and birds are docile, the hermitage of that pure-souled great sage is not far. That the hermitage, relieving the fatigue of the tired of him who has become famous in the world as Agastya by his own deed, is seen filling the forest with the smoke rising from oblations thrown into the sacred fire, adorned with bark garments and garlands containing very peaceful herds of deer and resounding with the cries of various birds. This is the site of the hermitage of him who, having his might, controlled death and performing holy deeds, made the southern quarter habitable with intent to do good to the people, and through whose spiritual force this southern quarter is looked on with alarm by the ogres and not enjoyed. No sooner had this quarter been set foot on by the sage of holy deeds than the night wanderers became extremely quiet and free from enmity. This southern quarter has become well known by the name of the revered sage as most safe and unassailable by people of cruel deeds. Constantly obeying his command, the Vindhya mountains, the foremost of mountains, is not growing up to obstruct the path of the sun. This is the beautiful hermitage, the resort of tame animals of that long-lived Agastya, whose deeds are well known in the world. He is a saint adored by the people and always devoted to the good of the virtuous. He will endow us who have come to him with blessings. Here I shall adore that great sage Agastya and stay for the rest of my period of exile in the forest, O gentle and powerful prince. Here gods and Gandharvas, Siddhas and the greatest sages always wait upon Agastya, living on a restricted diet. This sage is such that a liar or a cruel man, a knave, a wicked person or a sinner cannot live here. Seeking to observe piety, gods as well as yakshas and nagas, together with birds, abide here with their diet controlled. Here, exalted and realized souls and greatest sages, endowed with new bodies, have ascended to heaven in aerial cars, bright as the sun, giving up their worn-out bodies. Adored by good people, gods confer yakshahood, divinity and different kingdoms on their worshippers here. O son of Sumitra, we have reached the site of the hermitage. Go ahead and tell the sage that I have come here with Sita. Thus ends Canto 11 in the Aranya Kand of the glorious Ramayana of Valmiki, the work of a Rishi and the oldest epic. Jai Shri Ram.